Hi everybody. What's going on, guys? Digidesdan here, back again with another pickup video for you. And this week, I just have to say, has been phenomenal in terms of thrifting and hunting for retro games. I cannot recall the last time that I had a week this great. And it all started off with a fantastic pickup from my buddy Juicy J1. You can check out a video. I actually did an unboxing video earlier showcasing basically showcasing everything that I got from him. I got enough from him to warrant a box, so he actually gave me a whole box. So I'll briefly show it here. And lots of great stuff. There's some N64 stuff, some Dreamcast stuff, a Digivice, some comics, 3 Dreamcast games, 15 N64 games, and they're not like cheap ones either. There's like Hydro Thunder, there's Namco Museum, Mario Kart, all that good stuff. But if you want to see what's in the contents of that box, go check out my other video. I'll kind of float it up here. No, maybe here. Right here. And you can check that out. It's a mini unboxing. And huge shout out to GCJ1 for that. So, moving on to the next set of pickups. Lots of stuff from the thrift. First thing, just some sets of cords. This one here, it was $3.99, priced on $4.21. Just your basic Dreamcast cords. I like picking up the Dreamcast ones just because I don't come across them too often. And I tend to find a lot more loose Dreamcast consoles without their cords more often than any other console, I guess. Moving on to the next one, we have this power brick here. And I like picking up these ones because I don't come across these at all. I've maybe come across maybe 3 or 4 of them in my collecting lifespan or collecting career. It's the 8.5 volt one for the PlayStation 2. This one was picked up at the same Goodwill as the Dreamcast cords. These were $2.99. Picked up these for $1.99, and these are literally brand new. These are very surprising. This is an extension cable for a Wii remote, or it's also an extension cable for the new NES Classic. I don't know if these are an off-brand one or a generic one, but I like to give these a try. Also from the same store, which is crazy, we found 5 issues of Nintendo Power. So, show that there. You see the tag from Goodwill. They were 50 cents a piece, but there's a manager special, and they were 30% off. So I think we got them for about 35 cents a piece. So we have issue 34 here, which features Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. And they're all varying in condition. This one has the map in it. We have issue the July-August 1989 one with Mega Man 2. I don't know which issue this one is. I want to say 30-something as well, but that's pretty cool. We have the Super WrestleMania one. This is issue 35. Darkwing Duck. And this might be like issue 14 or something, 14 or 15. Then we have Chippendale Rescue Rangers, and this one's July-August 1990. These were all issues I didn't have for my collection yet, so I'm 5 steps closer to a complete Nintendo Power collection. Next pickup is from STS Phonograph. It is a company that produces a lot of pop culture related vinyl. I think they do specialize in video game music though. It's Darius. So we have Darius, which is a shoot 'em up made by Taito. This is a fantastic game. You're in a ship and you go around shooting robotic marine life, essentially. It's very fun. I love the music. This is not a game, of course. This is the vinyl. This is the soundtrack. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it's got, about 20 tracks on it, about 19, 20 tracks on it. And this is just something that I had to have for my collection. So a fantastic pickup from STS Phone Co. If you're interested in some of the vinyl and video game soundtrack type of stuff, I'll leave a link in the description below. You can check them out on Instagram, and you can check them out on their store. I'll find a link for that too. Alright, so the next set of pickups I'm kind of excited to tell you about. Not kind of, but very excited, just because this is a store that I haven't found anything at for the longest time. And growing up, I was always in pawn shops. All my games, all my electronics were from pawn shops. And I missed a turn one day and decided to stop into a pawn shop. And they just so happened to have some NES games in the display case. They had like Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario Bros. 2, Legend of Zelda 2, Millipede, you know, very, very basic, common titles. And I came across 5 of them that I believe were worth my money. I don't see them too often, and they were very well priced. So first one I want to show you is a game made by Trade West. It is Super Off-Road. Awesome game, fun game. I kind of like those top-down rally style games, especially the ones that used to be in the old like pizza places with the steering wheels. This is the same type of game. It supports up to 4 players, so you don't see that too often in NES games. Next game is Excite Bike. So surprisingly, I didn't have this game in my collection. This is a game that's very common. It typically hovers around like $5 to $7, but I never really wanted to pay more than $5 for it. And thankfully, in this pawn shop, they had it for $5. Decided, why not, pick it up. It's a decent price for it, and it's got a great label. I'll show you here. It's in awesome condition. And finally, I can add it to my collection. Next game is Xanac. So this is just another title I don't see too often. I haven't come across it in the wild that much. It's just a basic vertical scrolling shmup. Just you're in a ship going upwards, shooting things, making sure you don't die. It's pretty challenging. I'm not very good at some of the shmups on NES, but either way, they're very fun. They're unforgiving, and they pose quite the challenge for any video game player, or I shouldn't say any, but at least me. So it was definitely worth my money. Picked it up, and we'll see if I can have enough fun with it to keep in my collection. So, next title is another shmup. It is Image Fight by IREM. So I have a few IREM games. I have like Kickle Cubicle, which is a puzzle game, and then I have like Metal Storm, which is an awesome action platformer. This one is another vertical scrolling shmup, very similar to Xanac, the game I just showed. But I saw this game. It's made by IRM. I hadn't played it before, but for the price, I decided, hey, why not take the risk? I'll buy it and I'll give it a try. Turns out it's pretty fun. So excited that I saw it, and I'm excited that I decided to buy it. So, the next one is probably the rarest of the lot. I say that very liberally, just because it's not too rare. It's just more uncommon. It came out in 1991 and was published by Tengen, or published by Nintendo. Developed by Tengen, and it's Paperboy 2. So typically you'll see this game on the Super NES, Super Nintendo, and that's mostly because this came out in 1991. By 1991, the Super Nintendo was already released and was already had a library developing for it. So it was at the time in the NES's lifespan that games started to fade out and popularity started to shift towards the Super Nintendo. Either way, I saw this game. This is a game that my cousin had way back when. I used to go over to his house and play his NES, and he had games like Legend of Zelda, which I didn't have as a kid. He had this game, which I didn't have as a kid. And just kind of brought back those feelings and nostalgia. And, for the price when I saw it, I just definitely had to pick it up. And, pretty cool game. Hadn't seen it since I was a kid. And very cool pickup here. Alright, so this next set of pickups is awesome. The next buy. It was a Craigslist deal, which was referred to me by a friend of mine, a collecting friend of mine. His name is Stilo999. He's got his own YouTube account. Crazy collector. Crazy good, game hunter, thrifter, garage sailor. Probably one of the best in my area, and that I know. He's always finding good deals, and he sent me over a lot from Craigslist just recently. Looking out for me and saying, hey, you should, make him an offer or try to work out a deal with him. And thankfully, I was able to, and I got 10 great games as a result. So first thing I want to show you is Sparkster. I'll show it to you real quick here. I already put it in an acrylic case just because I know for sure that this one's going in my collection. Super fun game made by Konami, action platformer. If you ever played Rocket Knight Adventures, this is, the same exact character. I don't know if it's the same game. I haven't played it. I was never much of a Genesis guy, but I definitely want to get my hands on a copy of that so I can try it out. But it's super fun. You're a marsupial. I think you're an opossum or something, and you got rockets and you got a blade, and you can dash all around and use your rockets to bounce off the walls and stuff to take on your enemies. It's a super fun action platformer, and I'm super excited to play through it. I've never beaten it before, but given it's a Konami title, it's an action platformer, those things are something that I really enjoy. Back then Konami made a lot of great games. This is a game that I'm super excited to have in my collection, and I'm super excited to play pretty soon here. So that was the first game. Next one, not as exciting, but pretty cool. And the majority of these games I don't have in my collection yet. This is Chuck Rock. Alright, next game is Stargate. And I believe that this one's based off the show. Never really watched the show, but this game is extremely challenging, at least for me. So this one might be traded, depending if I can get past the first level. But either way, it's another great game from the lot. Alright, so the next game is The Great Waldo Search. So this one is actually very surprisingly fun. I do like Where's Waldo. That's something that I really enjoyed growing up, going to the library. I've never owned it before, so nice little game to add to the collection for now. Alright, this next game is probably the worst of the bunch. Just my personal opinion based off what I played. It's Toys, and I believe that this one's based off the movie. I've never gotten past the first level, so I'm assuming the whole game's very similar to the first level. It's kind of like a top-down, shooter, but you use toys as your weapons, and you fight toys as your enemies. So, all right, in this game here, we have Super Battle Tank: War in the Gulf, and I actually have Super Battle Tank 2, but I don't have Super Battle Tank 1. And this game is actually surprisingly fun. I enjoyed it a lot the first time I played it. Go around shooting other tanks. Not for everybody, but it is worth at least 10 minutes of your time. Next game is Super Return of the Jedi, and this one is an assembled in Mexico cart, so it's a Majesco release. So the label is essentially paper. There's no gloss on it. This one does have a back sticker. Normally they're just like plastic engraved or embossed. And this game I don't have yet, surprisingly. I have Super Star Wars. So now, with the addition of this game, I'm missing Super Empire Strikes Back. Alright, the next few games are a little bit more common, but they're more staple titles of anybody's Super Nintendo collection. First one is Super Mario World. Not much to say about this. Everyone knows what this game is. This is actually one of my favorite Super Nintendo games ever. Awesome title, and this one's probably going to trade or sell just because I've already got that guy. Next title, Star Fox. Got the Super Effects chip in there. Awesome 3D game, awesome shooter. Again, not much to say about it just because everyone knows what Star Fox is. It's just nice to have. Last game of the lot, another one of those staple titles, we have Donkey Kong Country. Another one of my favorite games for the Super Nintendo. Overall, this is one of my favorite franchises. You got Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. You also have the Wii version, the Wii U versions. They're all great games. So it all started with this one, I would say. And yeah, I mean, it's a great game overall. So those were all my pickups for this week. I have to say this is probably the first time in my collecting career that I've been able to find cartridge games, or even lots of cartridge games, for all 3 generations of Nintendo cartridge systems. So I was able to find NES games, SNES games, and N64 games. So super excited about this week. It's been awesome. If you did like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Always love seeing all those views, all those comments. Try replying to all of them. Check out my Facebook and my Instagram. Please check out Juicy J's YouTube channel. I'll link that in the description below, as well as Stilo 999's. But that being said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.